And you know the people that days were not educated like you people.
Thank you.
Our
That's
education
that's a
was
compliment.
restricted to standard 4. When you get to standard 4, then you cannot move to standard 5.
Why?
If you try to say that you go to standard 5, you are asked loudly, have you become to be a European to go to standard 5?
Did you know that nowadays?
Education for Africans
Yes.
are restricted
To standard
to
5.
standard 5.
Unless you are a European.
Unless you are European. Or there is a chance from the mighty God that
Imagine
you go to the standard 5.
Technology has gotten to a point whereby Africans can convert to Europeans.
Yes. Well, that is upon way of thinking of people.
Yes.
If you take serious the loving and patriotism of your country, you cannot go beyond that.
Yeah.
You can find other good things here and there,
Yes.
but you pass them as you go.
That's a very strong one, because it means that you could study from class 1 to class 4. Back then, with the technology we have now, you could vera sidika into class 5. But then, I watched an interview you did with Jeff, and you talked about places you could never go to, streets you could never cross. And you could actually get charged and in a court of law and sent to prison
if you get there.
For crossing a road. For crossing a road.
Not only that, this country,
Yes.
people of this country living in Nairobi could not go to Moyale because the northern part of our country was called Northern Frontier District.
Okay.
Only a police person, only a civil servant could go there. If you did go there as a civilian, you were caught. And you are taken to court, you are convicted. Right? Here in, I give you an example. We have Norfolk Hotel.
Yes.
When you are going to Norfolk Hotel, and perhaps you want to pass through to VOK,
Yes.
You are walking towards the western side. And the European, their children and their wives are drinking tea in the veranda of Norfolk Hotel.
Yes.
If you turned your eyes to that side, you are caught immediately.
So you used to walk like this. So
And you are flog marched to a magistrate. You know Nyayo House?
Yes.
Do you know the museum down there now? The museum.
Yes, there.
Not that one. Not that one. The other one. The other museum where they are.
Oh, the museum. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a court of law. Its magistrate was called Emily. You will be flogged, marched from Norfolk Hotel because of looking at the side where European women and men are drinking tea. And you will be charged by the act of he watched.
You're guilty
Bwana.
of watching.
He watched Bwana and Memsab taking tea. And then immediately you put to jail for 3 months.
What's the pettiest reason you were ever arrested for? What is the pettiest thing you were ever arrested for?
At that time?
Yourself, yes. You served 7 years in jail,
Yes.
right?
No, I was not arrested because I looked at a woman drinking tea. I was arrested because I was an active freedom fighter to liberate this country, Kenya.
And
That is why I was put to jail for 7 months. And I can tell you, I was to jail together with my biological father. I stayed with my biological father in prison for 7 years.
7 years. For the sacrifice.
Fighting for you to become. Fighting for you to become a doctor. That is why we went to war with the British. Because our education was restricted to standard 4, and we felt let down because our children can also learn to any stage of education.
Which begs the question, for the sacrifices that you made for this country, and thankfully you live to talk about it, we are blessed to hear it firsthand from someone who was there. Do you feel like this country has even appreciated what you did?
No, not at all.
And does the 2.6 billion make a difference?
If this country has not recognized the freedom fighters by law, if this country, the president, has not declared that Mau Mau freedom struggle brought the Uhuru to Kenya, then we cannot see anything that has been done for the Mau Mau, the people who fought for this country.
I think maybe it's because the definitions keep changing. Because the younger generation, if the younger generation were to give the same statements, they would say that Jubilee brought Uhuru to Kenya.
Who?
Different times, Jubilee. People don't understand the value and the sacrifice for Uhuru.
But this is why sometimes you call us to say something before young people like these ones I see here. And we are willing to come and tell you. You have studied in a higher institution, and you cannot tell me any day that you are put into a lecture room to be lectured how you can forget things. If you did, you can tell us.
No. You have a point. You have a point.
Yes. Therefore, what we did for this country cannot go away. And we want our children, including you who are here, to know that somebody somewhere died for your prosperity. If you cannot give them anything because perhaps you do not have, appreciate them. It is not necessary that you give them anything material. But appreciation, remembering that this country was occupied by another nation, and it was liberated by people through brevity and forethinking about their country, then that need a greater appreciation.
I was discussing the issue of fighting for independence with my friend. It's called Butita. And we arrived at the conclusion that if we were to be colonized up until this moment, people would not fight for independence, people would move to other countries. And that brings me to a question of, when we spoke earlier, you said you never gave up the fight against the British. It went on for years, but you fought until independence. After independence, did you ever lose hope as far as the future of the country was concerned? And yes.
I have not lost hope until this minute. I'm speaking to you. I will continue hoping, because I believe there is nothing difficult in the world. All things can be done by a human being. They are given power by His Almighty God, and they can do everything that can be done for the people, for themselves, individually, and collectively for the country. But we urge those who were working to receive anything material to know that they belong to this country.
Okay.
And this country is theirs, and this country will remain theirs until, I don't know that time.
Okay.